A tender coconut cake begins with simple but important steps. We place a bowl and add room temperature butter. Next, we measure the sugar, the foundation of future airiness. We beat the butter with sugar until it becomes a smooth, fluffy mixture. It's at this stage that the delicate structure of the cake is established. The mixer works for about a minute, transforming simple ingredients into a creamy base. We remove the beaters and take a silicone spatula. It will help gather all the mixture from the sides of the bowl. We mix carefully so that not a single grain of sugar is left unattended, and the mixture becomes perfectly smooth. The next step is measuring the vegetable oil, exactly 2 tablespoons. We pour it directly into the bowl with our butter base. This small touch will make the future cake especially tender and moist. We turn on the mixer, and in a minute and a half, the butter mixture transforms into a real miracle. See how it lightens and becomes incredibly fluffy? We take a silicone spatula and gently mix the mixture, scraping the remains from the sides of the bowl. It's important to gather everything down to the last drop. Then the cake will be evenly tender throughout its entire texture. We crack in the eggs one by one. This way, the mixture becomes more uniform. We turn on the mixer, and in just half a minute, the mixture becomes even fluffier. We continue beating until perfectly smooth, only a tender, creamy texture for our cake. The next layer of flavor, natural yogurt. We add it gradually, spoon by spoon. Now vanilla sugar. These 2 teaspoons will give the cake that exquisite aroma. The mixer helps combine everything into one mixture. We work at medium speed so the yogurt distributes evenly. We make the final touches with the spatula. With careful movements from bottom to top, we gather the batter, which becomes more and more silky and airy. We measure the flour exactly, 1.5 cups. We add baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons. Now, the most important part. We sift everything through a sieve. This isn't just tradition. The flour becomes weightless, saturated with air, and the baking powder distributes evenly throughout the entire mixture. We delicately bring all the components together into one whole. We work with the spatula carefully from bottom to top. This way, the batter retains all the fluffiness we created in the previous stages. The finishing touch, coconut flakes. We pour them into the batter and delicately mix. Each movement of the spatula distributes the aromatic flakes throughout the entire mixture without disrupting the airy structure. The batter is ready. While the batter waits, we'll prepare a 9-inch diameter pan. We take a piece of butter and thoroughly grease the bottom and all sides. This will help the cake release easily after baking. We line the bottom with parchment paper, carefully smoothing out all the wrinkles. Special attention to the edges. We cut the parchment into strips and line each side separately. Yes, this requires patience, but the result is worth it. The cake will come out of the pan perfectly even without damage. The pan is completely ready for baking. The batter turned out exactly the consistency it should be. We carefully transfer it to the prepared pan using the spatula. Now, with the spatula, we smooth the mixture with gentle movements from center to edges, making sure there are no unevenness. A perfectly smooth surface is the key to a beautiful cake.
we're sending it to the oven.
While the cake cools, we'll prepare a tender coconut glaze. Into a measuring cup, we pour confectioner's sugar. Half a cup will be enough. Now we add coconut milk, spoon by spoon, just 2 to 3 tablespoons. We mix thoroughly until uniform consistency. The glaze should be smooth and glossy, not too thick. The cake turned out golden and appetizing. Time for the finishing touch. We pour the glaze over it, distributing evenly across the entire surface. The coconut glaze gently flows down, creating beautiful drips along the edges and giving the cake a finished, festive appearance. The cake is ready to leave the pan. We open the clasp of the springform pan. Everything releases easily. We remove the ring. Now we carefully peel off the parchment paper from the sides. It's important to do this slowly so as not to damage the delicate crust of the cake. See how easily the paper comes off? The cake baked perfectly and didn't stick to the sides. The finishing touch, decorating with coconut flakes. We generously sprinkle the entire surface, creating a beautiful snowy cover. The coconut flakes not only give the cake a festive look, but also enhance the gentle tropical aroma. We distribute evenly across all the glaze. Each piece should get its share of this natural decoration. Look how our cake transforms from simple baking to a true dessert masterpiece. The flakes lightly stick to the moist glaze, forming an appetizing textured crust that will pleasantly crunch with each bite. The most important moment, the first cut, will show how successful our cake turned out. We carefully cut a triangular piece. Support it with the spatula and lift. Look at this tender, airy structure. The crumb turned out perfectly porous, and the coconut flakes distributed evenly throughout the entire volume. We transfer the piece to a plate. Look at this magnificent slice. The coconut cake turned out incredibly tender and airy. Each layer absorbed the coconut aroma, and the glaze provided perfect sweetness. You can turn the plate from any side. The cake looks flawless. Just a light press of the fork, and you can see how soft the texture is. The piece separates easily. We taste our coconut masterpiece. The cake literally melts in your mouth, leaving a gentle aftertaste of tropical coconut and vanilla. Each bite is a small delight. Perfect result.